move on to the campaign trail, Sarah, because the Republican race for the nomination narrows as a new Fox News poll shows Donald Trump and Senator Ted Cruz really neck and neck. I mean, Trump is the top spot, obviously, with 41%, but Cruz has climbed to 38%, John Kasich receiving 17%. Is Donald Trump a lock to win the Republican nomination, or do you think that now it's getting tougher going into Wisconsin and the rest of the contests?
Well, I don't think it should be any surprise at all that it's going to get tougher, because as we've narrowed the field from 17 to 3, I think the dynamics are going to change. A lot of it has to come down to the sentiment of the people as we go forward. I think a lot of the states and the trajectory that we're on in the Trump campaign is very favorable to us. Our math is a lot easier to achieve than the math for the other candidates. And I think that the states that we have coming up is going to be, we're really in a lot better position than they are.
And one of the big contests, Anthony Scaramucci, is Wisconsin. You obviously initially had backed the former governor.
You big cheesehead. Yeah, I'm 0 for 2, Sam, so I'm on the sidelines waiting for you guys. Okay? So,
I like that.
But the question I have for you, sir, why is the establishment so freaked out by you guys, number one? And number two, how did it go in Washington last week with the establishment, and where do you think that's going to be post-convention?
Well, I think, well, just let's answer the first one, the second question first. The meeting in Washington was great. It was a great a chance. As you know, we're very frank and direct in how we deal with things, and I think
we haven't noticed, sir. We haven't noticed that.
No, I know it's a shocker, but this is I think that everybody walked away with a clear picture of where we are and what we want to do. I think on the larger issue, it's really where the establishment is freaking out over all of this. I think it really comes back to power. It is a matter of their power base and what goes on inside. I'm in Washington right now. What goes on inside this city, and I really think that their power base and their hold on power is deeply threatened by this conservative populist campaign. And I really think that that's really at the heart of all this angst on the part of the establishment.
Should they be worried, though? Is that a legitimate worry for them?
Well, I think it's a legitimate worry when you think about the fact of how horribly they performed over the last 30 years. You know, if you sit down and you look at have we seen government get smaller? No. Have we seen fiscal responsibility? No. Have we seen the strengthening of the military? No. Have we seen any protection of the cultural values in this country?
No. Well, what's Donald Trump's plan for fiscal responsibility?
Well, Maria, I talked about it many times on your show. We talked about the fact that one of the things we talk about monetary policy, but what we haven't talked about is the fact that you can't do that with monetary policy alone. You need fiscal policy, and that is a responsibility of the Congress of the United States. And our tax plan is one of the most pro-growth tax plans. We're looking at projected growth of 4% for as far as the eye can see. That brings in trillions and trillions of dollars of revenue that's not accounted for.
But how much does it cost him? How do you pay for it?
Well, that's the point. I said we've just run the numbers recently, and I've sat down with people who've been on your show a lot and gone through these numbers with them, and we actually think that we come out about $7 trillion ahead after 10 years. And this is the fact that a lot of people cannot seem to get in their heads, that if we are able to change the tax culture in this country, and particularly if we look at the taking care of corporate taxes, and we bring all that capital back home from overseas, and we have the opportunity to get higher foreign direct investment, and we get all the people off the sidelines. We reduce our welfare rolls, which saves money. We reduce our Medicaid rolls. We've reduced the food stamp rolls. We reduce all of these other factors, and in fact, we have a productive society instead of a dependent society. It changes the equation dramatically.
So your corporate tax rate is 15%, correct?
Well, 10% repatriation and 15%, and that's for every business enterprise.
Right.
General Electric or a mom-and-pop coffee shop.
Yeah. Well, listen, it sounds good. I think that will be a huge catalyst for markets.
But Sam, his plan, it codifies the fact that half of America pays no federal income tax. We're at war with Islamic terrorism, and when you don't pay income tax, you're not paying a dime into the military. You're not paying a dime into our national defense, Sam. I don't know how he's going to explain that or how that makes any financial sense.
Well, I think that what we're talking about here is we have a plan, and it's a proposal. We know that we're not going to get everything that we're asking for, and Dagan, you raise a great point. but we have to have a point of departure. We have to have a point where we can start this discussion. And this is the whole issue. Everybody wants everybody to nail something to the wall, and that's it. That's what we're going to have. I had a discussion with the reporter about our health care plan. And she was sitting there and said, well, how are you going to do this, this, and this? And I said, these are the points that we want to start with. We're not sure we have all the answers. We're not sure we have every answer. But what we have is a plan. And we have a plan that is pro-growth. And that's the whole point. If we don't get to a pro-growth economy in this, we can't do anything anybody's talking about on this segment right now.
Yeah.
We can't defend NATO. We can't do our part in NATO. We can't go into the Middle East.
I think we agree on that.
That's absolutely right.
You're right, Sam. All right, Sam, good to see you. Thank you so much, sir. We will talk with you soon.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Sam Clovis there from the Trump campaign. Coming up